So, what I'm talking about is the Windows Bridge for iOS, or so-called Project Islandwood. Has any one of you ever heard about this project? Oh, great. It's more than I expected. Okay, so it must be exactly 1 year ago at Build Conference 2015, Microsoft announced so-called bridges to bring over apps from other platforms to the Windows platform. There was a bridge for Android, which does not exist anymore. There was a bridge to bring over websites packed as applications over to our Windows platform. There was a bridge for bringing over native Windows application, Windows desktop applications to the UWP platform, and there has been a project so-called Islandwood, which we're talking about now, which is responsible for bringing existing iOS applications over to Windows. I want to show you why the hell you should do that. Why that might be a cool way for you to exist on the Windows platform without creating a whole new application. And that's what I'm talking about with you now. Some words about me. My name is Robin-Manuel Thiel. Thiel is a crazy word to pronounce in English. Thiel in German. I'm a technical evangelist at Microsoft. I'm responsible for the cross-platform topic, so I'm doing a lot of cross-platform applications using Xamarin. I'm a .NET guy. Sorry guys, I just can write C# code. That's why I need your help when going over to Swift or Objective-C. You can contact me at my email address or via Twitter. At this point, I always say that I know that I need a way cooler Twitter handle, so if you have any ideas, please contact me afterwards. Swift Robbie. It's a great idea for a guy who can't write a single code Swift. So, what we're talking about, what is the Windows Bridge for iOS? What are the benefits, and especially what is it not? How does it technically work, for those who are interested? Then we try a little demo. I've heard that demos always go horribly wrong here on stage, so I say we try a little demo. And afterwards we do a little conclusion. So, introduction. What is it, how to use it, and why the hell should I do it? So the Windows Bridge for iOS is an open source project from Microsoft. Okay, crazy times again, an open source project from Microsoft. That provides a way to use your existing Objective-C. Sorry guys, Objective-C at the moment. We are heading over to Swift, but at the moment we just support Objective-C. To use your existing Objective-C code, Objective-C skills, to develop an application for the Universal Windows platform called UWP, using Visual Studio and using our Windows APIs. So if you are an iOS developer, and I'm sure most of you are, and have an existing application, you can just port it over to Windows, but still use Objective-C code on Windows, still have access to all the iOS APIs on Windows, and additionally get access to the Windows APIs. So you have an application with an interface written in any iOS code base. At the moment it's, as I said, just Objective-C, but we will support Swift. And what we bring is an Objective-C compiler on Windows. We bring the full Objective-C runtime, of course. We have ported over most of the iOS APIs. And we have a Visual Studio IDE integration so that you can use a way better IDE than Xcode is on Windows. And with these 4 parts, you might be able to let most of your existing code running on Windows. What you can do here is mix and match all the APIs that you already know. So this way works on Windows 10 and Windows Phone 8.1 and Windows 8.1 at the moment. And as I told you, that you can mix and match all the APIs. So if you port your app over to Windows, you can use Objective-C to create live tiles on Windows, for example, to access the Action Center and to create Windows notifications. So this is not just a port. We are running your applications natively on Windows by compiling Objective-C code under Windows to create a UWP application. Yeah, what are the benefits? Nick Girard, who is the responsible program manager for the Windows Bridge for iOS, said that they took large parts of the existing iOS frameworks. Of course, large parts. iOS is huge. There's a huge load of different APIs and different things that you can use, but most things they covered or they are covering at the moment. For example, they cover Core Foundation, UIKit, Core Graphics, and all this stuff. Additionally, it is open source, so you can extend it whenever you want, and you can create a pull request. And what's really great about it is that we are getting many pull requests every week, and we are still executing them. Yeah, and so what we don't want to do is say, hey guys, just create Windows apps using Objective-C. What we want to say is, hey guys, if you have an existing Objective-C or in the future Swift application for iOS, bring it over to Windows, and we provide you the tools to quickly get it running on the UWP and quickly get you on the last mile of Windows development. So what the project not is a one-click solution. So what is also not is it's not a fun reel for Windows 10 apps. So we don't say, okay guys, please from now on use Objective-C or Swift to create Windows apps. We still have great tools like our whole C# development environment. You can still use all the other technologies to create Windows 10 app, and you will always be able to do that. But maybe if you don't want to create a Windows application from scratch because of whatever reasons, because of market share or things like that, then this might be your solution to exist or to be able to offer your service also on the Windows platform. It's just working this way, so we are not being able to bring over existing Windows apps to iOS, and we are not planning that. It's just a one-way solution, and the correct way to work with it is still you, as a developer for iOS, create your applications in Xcode using Swift or Objective-C, and afterwards you just bring it over to Windows once, compile it there, and create your application. But you continue developing it in Xcode and on macOS. And what we're also not doing is running your application in a sandbox on Windows. So as I told you, we are not just emulating iOS to run your app. It's a native implementation of your application on the UWP platform. Yeah, and that is especially why it is not just a port. So we do not just port your app over to Windows because, as I told you, you have full access to the Windows API on top. You can set compiler flags saying, okay, if my application runs on Windows, then do this. If it runs on an iOS device, do that. We have full iOS compatibility, so we are targeting full iOS compatibility to let your app also communicate with the iOS APIs, and we're not doing any sandboxing. You have full access to our Windows APIs using this. For whom is that? First of all, for iOS developers who has an existing app, who doesn't want to develop a new app for Windows because of market share or things like that, but wants to offer his service on the Windows platform. Then this might be a solution for you. On the other side, if you are an Objective-C developer and you are willing to create a Windows application, you can do that by using your knowledge, your code base, and the skills you already have. So if you want to create a Windows application but have no C# skills, it might be a barrier for you to learn C# from scratch or to learn any .NET cases from scratch, so you can use your existing code bases and your existing skills to bring your application to our platform, if you want. From a technical view, it looks like this. We have, of course, at the bottom we have our universal Windows platform, and on top of that we use a customized compiler, which uses Clang and CL to compile the Objective-C code. And then we generate the object files out of it and linking them together using our Microsoft linker. This is a great approach, and it works because we don't need to do that much compilation. We just need to do the minor compilation, so we are still able to run Objective-C code on Windows. That is not the problem. What we just do is packing it over and bringing it to a UWP app. And on top of that, of course, we have all the iOS frameworks and tooling. We have access to the iOS APIs. We now, since 3 weeks, I guess, are supporting storyboards. So if you have an application that's using storyboards, we try to read them and bringing them over to Windows and translating them in our native UI elements. And on the other hand, you of course have all the Windows stuff. We have Visual Studio integration if you are on Windows. You can use XAML controls in your Objective-C or Swift applications. You are able to pack UIKit controls into XAML controls and vice versa. So you can do really crazy things there. And as I said, we have all the WinRT, also the Windows 10 APIs as projections that you can use in your application. So these three things, we have the compiler and the runtime of the UWC platform. We have all the iOS APIs, and we have the Windows APIs that you can mix and match via our compatibility libraries and all that in Visual Studio. We are able to transform the UI. So if you bring your apps over to Windows, they will look like Windows apps. So if you use any buttons or sliders, we are interpreting them and try to create native XAML UI controls out of them. And now let's hope that the demo gods are with us, and let's take a look at it in the real world. Okay, so what we have here is the landing page for the Windows Bridge, where you can access GitHub, where you can have some tutorials how to contribute and how to use it and so on. But what might be most interesting for us is the GitHub page. Here we are. As I told you, we are completely open source, so you can take a look at everything we made here. We have several tutorials. We have a quick start challenge. We have a full wiki. We have a quite good documentation on this, and what you can also find here in GitHub, of course, are our releases. We are releasing once a week, and you can get our latest version here. So we are still in 0.0, so we are in a very, very early stage of the project. It's a preview of this project, and please keep in mind that not all the things might work right now. So what we can do here is downloading this preview version. I already did that and bring it over here to my SD card. Let's take a look where is it? Oh, it is here on my Windows machine. So what I did here is I downloaded let's find it, the Windows Objective-C bridge here. This is the folder structure that we might get, and it contains several files. First of all, it contains a Visual Studio plugin, which is called Objective-C Syntax Highlighting, which we can install into our Visual Studio IDE, and then we have syntax highlighting for Objective-C at the moment. And the most important part of the project might be the Visual Studio importer here. And what this importer does is it takes your existing Xcode project, takes a look at it, and tries to transform it over to a Visual Studio project. This might sound quite easy, but it's a hard process because Xcode and Visual Studio are very, very different from their not really from their folder structure, but from the way that internal processes work there. And so this is a hard process, and this might fail sometimes. So if the portation from Xcode to Visual Studio fails, there's nothing you can do except of creating an issue on GitHub. But if this completes successfully, you might be on a good way, and we can try it out. So keep your fingers crossed that it works. Okay, what we are doing here is I have searched for some open source iOS projects. We have a 2048 game here. I guess most of you might know it. You can swipe some blocks and need to combine the blocks with similar numbers. This is written in C# for iPhone. In this case, we have a little game over here, which is called Climbers, and this is an iPad application. And if this runs, if you want, we can try one of your applications. They are open sourced, and if you are using Objective-C right now. Okay, so let's start with the 2048 game. Just download the zip file. Let's head over to source, iOS. Okay. So what we're getting here is a classic Xcode project, which we can open in Xcode. Yes, we really want that. That's why we double-clicked on it. Okay, and here we are. We have this number tile game, how they called it. We have our models over here for the game, for the tiles, for merging and things like that. We have our views over here. We have a score view, or view control, and so on. And of course, we can run it in, I would say, the whatever iPhone 5S I'm with it. Oh. Okay, and we can play the game here and bring the tiles together. Okay, so of course this works because it is written for iOS. So what we want to do now is bring this game over to Windows without redeveloping anything. So let's switch over to my Windows virtual machine here, going on the same SD card, under source, iOS, and here's our iOS 2048. I have a problem right now because this project lies on a network share, because I'm using Parallels, and Parallels is taking a look at my SD card here and maps it as a network shared over to my Windows 10 VM. At the moment, I don't know why we can't translate projects that are on a network share, and that's why I have to that's why I have to copy it to a local share, like say SPADC. Let's create a temp folder. Okay. So now we're here in our number type project, and as you can see, Windows recognizes the Xcode project file as a folder. We can take a look at it, but it's not interesting for us. It is exactly the same application that we have seen on Mac. And what I can do now is I can open the command line window here. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So, what about, okay. Yes, you can read that. Okay, we are in our game folder for our iOS game, and all I have to do now is taking the Visual Studio importer exe and drag it over to you. So what we're doing here, we are in the folder and we are executing the vs importer exe file. Okay, it looked good. So it worked. We generated some items, and if we take a look back in our folder structure, we might notice that, where is it? So there it is. it created a Visual Studio solution for us that we can open now from Visual Studio. Okay, and here we are. So, what we have here is the same project. We have all the header files, for example, that we had in our Objective-C code. We have, where are they? Let's take a look at the number tile again. We have the views here, we have the models here, and they still exist in Objective-C. So the importer file did not touch any of the files. It just took a look at the Xcode project and tries to bring it over to Visual Studio. So we have kind of syntax highlighting here. It's not perfect yet, but it works. And what we can do now is we can try to build this project on the Windows. Keep your fingers crossed. Okay, it does not work because, for example, here he has an unexpected external symbol, arc for random uniform. If we take a look at the output window, we can see that that the property is not yet implemented for example. So we might get some errors for these arc for random uniform function here. So what we can do is taking a look at it where the developer used it in his code, and then we might figure out how we can work around here, or if we can do some things that aren't supported right now to have the same functionality. And what I'm doing now is I am searching for these arc for random uniform function in my project. So arc for random uniform, not just in the current document, but in the entire project. Okay, so we have it here, and oh, here, okay. So we are in our number tile game view controller.m, and yeah. Okay. So what we could do here is doing things like, okay, we could set a compiler flag and say, hey compiler, if when Objective-C if oh, this should work. And if, yeah. Or let's say things like that. Okay, else. So, we are using a compiler flag here, so we're saying that the compiler, hey, if you run on Win Objective-C, so if you're running this application on Windows, do this. If you're running on iOS, do that. And for this, we need an alternative, and what I know at the moment is that we are not supporting arc for random uniform, but we are supporting the classical arc for random function. So we can do something like this, okay, arc for random 10. You can use arc for random. Begin from here, it's okay. And same for the other rows, okay, and let's say, okay, I don't want to use the compiler flags every time, so let's just say, hey, this, I'm doing this, even on iOS. So let's try again.
Percentage.
Oh, where? Oh, 8?
991.
91. For random.
Percentage.
Yeah, of course. Okay, thanks. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so the compile succeeded, the deploy succeeded. And we have a UWP application over here, which runs our number checker. We can combine tasks. Thank you. Not something I made. Okay, so let's try something else. I guess this might be a very, I don't want to say easy solution, but it's a very basic application. What we can take a look now is at this. We have a game here which is called Climbers, which is also open source. So let's try this out. Oh no, it's import source iOS. Okay, once again we have an Xcode project. Yes. Surprise. And okay, let's take a look at this. Okay, the game. Okay, we have the game files over here. We have a hero. We have a rock. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This is written for iPad. That's why we obviously need the iPad Pro here, or we can use iPad Air or iPad Air 2 it is. So let's try if we can run it. Great, we failed with 107 errors. Why is it? Unsupported compiler. Okay, let's take a look at this. Where is our compiler? Where do we choose our compiler? Over here, okay. Unsupported compiler. Let's use the default compiler. If I'm doing anything stupid here, please tell me. We have our Climbers game. Nothing works. Okay, we have an error. Okay, honestly, I tried this out at home and I know how to solve this error. And we need to use where is it? This solution over here. So, this is an old project, I guess, and we need to replace this with that. So, guys, as I told you, I don't know anything about Objective-C development or iOS development. Where do I find this? App Delegate? Okay.
Just look for App Delegate at the bottom.
Shift Command O and then
yeah, Shift Command O.
Wow. You guys are crazy. Okay, where is this looks good. I want to use Visual Studio. So it should work now. Great. Maybe another. I swear it worked at home. Works on my machine. Okay. Let's scale it down. Okay, I have to speak a little bit louder now. We have a game where we have these two climbers and they're connected with a rope. I can't. Do you know how we can? Why can't I?
So you have to change the upload sound.
Okay, so we have these two climbers, and we need to climb to the top and need to collect these stars over here. Do it the whole day. Oh! Okay, once again. Without collecting stars. Okay, great, it works. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let's try to convert this game. Let's leave Xcode. Horrible. Sorry. I have to say that. It's part of my contract. Okay, so we have the game here on source iOS. Let's speed it up. The Climbers Master, we need to copy it over to a local share, and let's say, surprise, 10. Same thing, open the console, and let's take a look at books, my Windows bridges, WinObjective-C, there it is. Port it over. It worked again. No surprise, because I tested it. And again, we have a Visual Studio project here that we can open. And what I just want to show is that you are able to port over more complex things like these 2048 game. And I don't know how this game is written on which engine it's used, but I think it's SPADC. I think it's the SPADC engine. So, yeah, but they do, and they do quite well. Come on, let's build it. So what I wanted to show that is way more easy to port over games to another platform that does not use much of iOS specific code. The more iOS specific code you are using, the more likely the WIAS importer might fail at the moment. The team is working very hard on covering more and more Windows APIs, but we are in a very early stage. And the best results we are getting with games, and we are working on bringing over more and more tools and other applications over to Windows. Okay, our build succeeded, so let's try that. Okay, it works. So we even have sound here.
It's not striking, by the way.
It's not?
It's Xcode Studio.
Okay.
It cannot be spread.
So it's Xcode.
It's iOS 4.3. And it says at the home screen, it says Xcode Studio.
Ah, okay, great. Okay, so then, sorry for that, it's Cogos.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it works.
Maybe next you can pick up a SPADC project.
We can try, yeah. Sure. And okay, well done. So it also works on my machine here. And what I could do now is I have a full UWP game, and I could put it to the Windows Store and sell it there, for example. So just with these 2 clicks, I just need to import my Xcode project, and I have an application that we can, of course, develop in this time Objective-C or Cocos 2D, which is Objective-C in this case, or of course we can try out SPADC.
The amount of code I wrote that is actually just C, I would never be able to put anything through that.
Okay. So let's move on with the presentation, and afterwards we can try out other projects like a SPADC project, for example, or any application that you wrote. But of course, you can try this at home. Yeah, just by downloading the project. It's completely open source, and try to convert your applications. Yeah. So why are we open source? First of all, we are open source under MIT license, so you can do nearly whatever you want with it. You can find it on GitHub, as I showed you, and we did not do that for street credibility on the iOS developer community. We did it because it's fundamentally important for our project. We are really new to both, to open source and to iOS development, and we need your help as a community and as developers. So you don't need to participate, but please, if you try it out, and if there are some errors, please file an issue at our GitHub project, for example. We do have a new release every week. Of course, we are in a really early stadium, but you can download a new one every week, and maybe things that last week didn't work are working now. Of course, we have the Swift question, and at the Build Conference 2016, 2 weeks ago, I guess, we announced that that we will support Swift by our project, but not at the moment, because Swift is still changing yet. Swift is not ready. They open sourced it in December, I guess. Is it right? Yeah. They do not have that much language stability, because things are changing a lot at the moment, and we are looking forward to Swift 3.0. Additionally, there are many apps out there that are written in Objective-C right now. There are many developers out there that are using Objective-C right now. So I think it's a good approach to try out your apps or your skills and your knowledge if you are an Objective-C developer at the moment. But yes, we will support Swift at the future. We are targeting to finally support it by the end of this year. So it might take some time, but we are working on it. The next steps for you might be taking a look at the GitHub repository. Take a look at our roadmap there. So there are some parts on the roadmap where we say, okay, hey, yes guys, we want to support this in the next 2 weeks, for example. We have a quick start channel there where you can read all the things that I showed you today. We have a Windows blog where you can get the latest information on our updates. And of course, you can try it out, even if you don't have a Windows machine, and even if you don't have a Windows license. So what we are offering is we are offering free Windows virtual machines that you can download for 90 days and test everything on it. They are pre-configured, so they are coming with an installation of Visual Studio. They are coming with the latest version of our Windows Bridge and some other tools, and you can use them completely for free. And we don't offer them just for our platforms. You can download a version for Parallels, for VirtualBox, or for whatever you use. That's all from me for now. Thank you. Now we have some time for your questions.